think it's working.
And hey, folks, welcome back to the Amigos and Co channel, the Amigos and Co show, every week, Monday/Tuesday. You'll notice there's only two of us on the screen right now. Adam is got some personal family issues to deal with, so he's bowed out for the week. We wish him the best, of course, but I'm sure he'll pop into the stream every now and then, into the chat. Speaking of which, we, of course, with Adam out, we have jumped over to our secondary streamer. That would be my good friend here, Chris, and his internet is the shits today. So there's a good chance this may be a 3-minute stream, a 7-minute stream, 12 minutes. Who knows? We could lose it at any point.
Yeah.
We've made a decision. If we get cut off, just resume your normal lives.
Yeah.
If we get cut off, we're not coming back. That's it. We're just done. But yeah, it is what we got to deal with, and I'm just not in the mood to fight with it. I'm pretty sure Chris is in the same boat. Yeah, I've been rambling a bit. How are you guys doing? Shannon, by the way, you offered me some French vanilla. No, good God, no. Black, strong, black, hot, steaming. That's all I want. Milk and flat. No, not my bag. Chris, how the hell are you?
Well, like Steve said, the internet's been going out all day. We've been fucking with. Well, I haven't been at home, but anyways, it's been out in and out all day. Been dealing with that. So, like Steve said, that might happen. Otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. Granted, it's like 17 degrees Fahrenheit outside here in Vegas. So, like, it's pretty rough out there in these streets. I've gotten to the point of being almost so old that now I have to wear, like, I'm born and raised in Las Vegas. I have crappy tattoos, you know, so like you think I'd be used to it. I'm wearing those sleeve things now that you wear like if you're a pool cleaner or whatever to protect your arms from the sun, because now I get heat rash because I'm weak. But my ancestors fought off like, you know, saber-toothed tigers, but you know, it's evolution, I guess. But I'm doing all right. But yeah.
I have a bit of a confession to make. Obviously, you've noticed this. It is freezing fucking cold here. You're lucky. I have got my fluffy slippers on. I got my thick pajama pants on. I got 3 layers on. I had another jacket on earlier. I took the jacket off for the stream just because, but it'll be going on as soon as the show's over.
Steve looks like that uncle in every Christmas movie from the 90s.
It is bitter cold here. And I've noticed something. There's a cycle, and it's twice a year it happens, and it hits me every single year. And I don't think it's because I'm old, although it is getting worse every year. And it's the two poles of the year. Right now it's really cold, and so I just can't get revved up to do stuff. I'm behind on everything. I got reviews to do. I set out a tank and everything I had to review Sunday night. It's still sitting there. Just can't move. Can't just like go to bed and pull the blanket up and read with my phone. It's just too cold to start moving. Summertime, I get the opposite thing going on. It's too fucking hot, and I think about, like, by the time I get the lights set up and the mic and I get the memory card and the camera, I'll be dripping sweat, and I'll be leaning over filming stuff, and it'll just be like drips falling down. I'll have to do this in stages. So it's like twice a year this hits me. It's a real hindrance. Yeah, Birdman, I know, harden up. Look, I just want to get a nice big warehouse where I can temperature control it and seal it off under bubble wrap, and I can just hide from the world. Then I'd be happy. But yeah, it's fucking cold. It's just fucking cold. Mr. Close, yeah, it has been snowing in Australia over the last week.
Is that common there?
No. I make fun of people. We have a ski resort. Yeah. Snowy Mountains, and there is snow there. And, you know, as a Canadian, I can do nothing but make fun of them because they have like 2 inches of snow made mostly by machines every year. This is not a land known for snowfall, but yeah, we've had sort of natural fall across the lower part of the country for last week.
So it's crazy everywhere because, like,
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. So in the chat, sorry, I was about to type. I'm getting confused. I'm trying to type and think at the same time. Obviously, I'm not going to be as good as Breeze Tones in the chat, guys, but I'll shout you out on the screen and stuff like that. But yeah, man, like, you're in the like super cold weather right there, and it's colder than usual with the snow and all that stuff. And then over here, like, well, you've had the record of 117 before, but it's not a lot. It doesn't happen often, and so like it's just getting rough everywhere.
Well, I mean, I see the Irishman joking there. He says, "What we call cold."
Yeah.
What Steve calls cold, we call summer. To be fair, I said this in a comment to someone recently this past week. I've grown up in Canada. I've had frostbite. I've gone through the snow up to the balls, like literally, like as I'm walking along, I'm leaving ball trails on the top of the snow. That's how high it was. Um, I know cold. I grew up also in Scotland, so I know the miserable cold, that biting, sleeting, wet nastiness that Scotland gets. Um, on the other hand, Australia just it's not prepared for the cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I go visit friends downtown, and we live in a floodplain, so all their houses are on literally on stilts.
Yeah.
And when you go into their living room and look down at the floors, there's cracks between the floorboards. You can see the ground below.
So you
see
can't
the
even hold the
sunlight.
heat in if when the
Yes.
wintertime.
Yeah, they're all designed to expel the heat as much as possible. Even the newer houses aren't that great. We just don't build for cold. And I guess the last 5 years, it's been getting a bit colder here. We hit -3, -5 last week here,
Oh
which was
wow.
pretty fucking chilly.
Yeah, that's super cold. We it's Vegas, you know. We usually get pretty hot in the summer and everything out here. But I like I said, I moved around a little bit when I was younger, and then when I was in the military and stuff. But born and raised out here for the most part of my life, and you think I get used to it, but every year I'm like, oh, this is the worst summer ever, and I start crying about it. But it's getting rough out there, man. Like fucking,
Yeah.
you were saying Irishman. I'm guessing he's in Ireland, obviously. But yeah, man, I'd rather have 1,117 days than ever spend one day in the UK's weather system at all. Like it's just perpetual sadness. It looks like what the people in France are feeling when they're like smoking
Oh,
their cigarettes
man.
and drinking their tea.
But again, to give, I mean, we'll talk about the UK as a whole, but to give them their due benefit. I mean, generations after generation, thousands of years living there, and the weather has been shit all along. So they build for it. They know how to build for it. And you go in, and even in the coldest place, yeah, you've got the little electric fire, but they're prepared. They have the blankets, they have the coats, they have the insulation, they have the
The
walls that are like
sadness.
this thick. I mean, and same with Canada. I mean, Canada is you could be standing in your underwear, sipping a cup of coffee in the morning, and the snow is this high outside, and you're watching the cars swerve around, just looking out the window. Totally fine because you've got like this much pink batting in the walls and double
Yeah.
glazing, and the ceiling's got like multiple layers. It's like you got your own little cocoon and a glass window to laugh at the world.
I heard Canada
saw-
winters get pretty rough too. I got a couple friends besides you that have been there and are from there, and there'd be times where they don't go outside for a week. You snow so much.
Yeah.
But real quick,
Oh.
let's go ahead and shout out chat. I got this. You go ahead and take care of that. Unless you had something. Okay, cool. So, real quick, Robert Young, good to see you, bro. Big Rick, the gaming vaping gamer. I can't remember how you do it on Instagram. Good to see you as well. Shannon Brown, always good to see you here. Glad you made it. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Let's see, who else did we got here? The Irishman, of course. We were talking about him earlier, or his weather system. Great One Batsky, go check him out on Instagram. Takes bitchin' photos of bubbles. Everyone hates him, but apparently I'm the one that loves him. We got Mr. Rex Vapes. Good to see you, Rex. Erwin Kopecki. Thanks for letting us know about the sound, bro. Hope you're doing good. Mr. Neil Pitts. Let's see, who else do we got? Mr. Coils. I believe he's down in Australia with you, correct? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
he's from
correct.
Australia too.
He's a good man, is Mr. Close.
Yeah, I've heard only good things. Birdman 69. Nice. No. Sorry guys, I shed timed a little bit before the show. Let's see, who else do we got? I think I shout out everyone except for Ern. What up, Ern? Good to see you as well. And yeah, that's everyone. So guys in chat, tell us what you're vaping on. Go ahead though and start with Steve, the vaping expert. What are you vaping on, man?
Far from an expert, just a wannabe. I do have to point out that my fact checker just popped her head in the window and let me know. And when I say window, around the corner, but she just popped her head in and let me know that -3 is absolute bullshit. We hit 3, not -3, 3.
Oh, 6
It
degrees
felt like
difference.
-3. Yeah. I just talk and shit falls out of my mouth. Don't trust anything I say. As far as what I'm vaping, yeah, drop 1.5, still rocking that, still got these same coils. I've re-wicked it, luckily. I'm vaping Red Sins on here. This is a nice setup, and nice flavor, but I can't take it constantly. Australians will know Redsins is a Redskins clone. Let's call it a clone.
I thought you were going to say Redskin potatoes for some reason. I'm just hungry.
After, you have to wait. This is why you shouldn't shed time before the show.
Oh.
Drop 1.5 on the Tesla Invader. In there, I've got a little of the Ohmsman's Finest Banana Berry. That's actually, I just started on Sunday, and about a quarter of the way through the bottle, I've just been dripping it nonstop.
Banana
nice
and
stuff.
berry.
It says Banana Berry. What's it called again? Banana Berry. It's a banana strawberry custard.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
And with my palate, the strawberry is quite muted because I don't get I don't get strawberry flavors.
Not enough ham in there?
Do not work for me. Yeah. And a couple of new setups that I can't really comment on how good they are because I just busted them out this morning, loaded them up. I have the Xtal Pro from what the hell is this company called again? ZQ. It's kind of nice. It's a basic little pod system, draw to inhale, except you got a screen and you got some voltage control. And I kind of like that step up with these things.
For a pod, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're not the first to do that, of course. I've seen it before, but it is nice to have just a little bit of control on sort of a stick-style pod. I'm trying to remember what I put in there. Also Redsins, because it was really close and I was feeling lazy. And just in the Paggy or Paggy or Paggy or
Paggy, Panini.
the Paggy, Nevox actually. It's actually a nice little thing. Nevox have been impressing me recently. They came out it's been about a year or so. They came out with their first system, and it was good. It was okay, but they've just come out with new ones every 3 months or so. They come up with a new one that is just like, oh, that's better. The quality of the machining, the fit, the finish, the whole deal. This is actually a really nice little thing. It's really thin, really stealthy.
Yeah.
It's not a huge thing, and it is, your basic pod system on that side. It has 2 buttons and a tiny screen, much like the other one. You can adjust your wattage and you can draw to inhale. No, can if you put the pod in correctly.
I called you an expert, man. You're embarrassing me in front of the Amigos.
I said I wasn't an expert. I'm a pretender. Yeah, actually, nice little setup so far. I like the sleekness of it. So shirt pockets. If you are not a t-shirt and jeans guy like me, but you're more professional going about your life, you got shirt pockets. This is the perfect little stealth vape. Just keep it in there for whenever you have a bathroom break. In there, I got some Byron Bay chocolate milk. I know there are people out there who despise it, and there are people who love it, and there doesn't seem to be much middle ground, except for me. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It tastes like chocolate milk to me. Like, I don't love chocolate milk. I don't love the sea liquid, but I do like it.
I imagine that you can't do it a lot because that milk flavor buildup. Like, it gives you those weird, like, smacky lips, you know what I'm talking about? And you got that weird spit that's all white. Like,
yeah, it's like, well, anything that I think that is milk-based is like, nice vape, nice vape, nice vape, okay vape, ooh, vomit. Really strong vomit. Okay, time to switch to something else. And that's not a dig at the juice. That's just milk. Anything with milk could never be an all-day vape for me.
Yeah.
But there are people that do that. They will vape that nonstop. Anyway,
yeah.
One more thing. Just about ready to review this. This is the Havoc from Uwell. Also a pod system, also with some control. The Valerian was the previous version in terms of format from them, and it was that same basic little pod setup, but it was bypass. This one, yeah, got a screen, got some control. I really like that. I like being able to turn it up or down as needed. Like, I get in the car and I'm driving with the wife. She doesn't want a massive cloud. I'll just pull it down a couple of watts just so it's a little less. And that's it. That's me. Oh, Anarchist Black.
Nice. In the chat, I will agree with Mystic Coils. He says usually chocolate milk flavors taste like chocolate topping and nearly rotten milk.
Yeah, well, that's 2 of the hardest flavors to master. Chocolate is just one of those things, like most chocolates, they taste dry, they taste powdery, they taste a little off. not fully like chocolate.
Yeah.
They tend to veer closer to baking chocolate than actual milk chocolate. And milk is, like I said, it's a hair shy from vomit.
Yeah.
So
Especially, I'll get into my buffet after this, but like for me personally, milk sitting in your coils and then like you let it sit for a little bit and then going right back to it. It just sounds like regular milk in like your pillow. But anyways, I've got my.
You put milk in your pillow?
You guys don't do
What
that?
the hell are you doing?
So
what
you
games
put
do you
bags.
play in
You put your milk in bags in Canada, but you don't put it in your pillow. You're judging me, man. I've got my.
I don't carry my milk around in my pillow. That's just no.
Well, it's for if you get a late night snack. Anyways, my Veep Gape, with the top, not top. Wow, with the top side on top now. I have just so like, baby, come back. You're all I need. All right, I need a top side. Anyways, with the goat on top and oh boy tropical inside of it, because for summertime flavors, I mean all the time. Fruit flavors are the best for me. They just taste so good. And then inside my Caliburn, I had to switch it up to a different one. So I got a new one last week, and it's a red one because like these ones, I was like, okay, I used them for a while. I need another one because like I was just afraid of the charging it all alone. Anyways, I was hitting it during the weekend. I was like doing stuff around the house, and it did not stop engaging, and it just fucking burnt off until the battery died. My brand new one. So anyways, back to my old one, which for some reason, because maybe I let it get too full of juice, I can't draw on it to get a hit, really. It kind of sucks, so that sucks. But inside there, long story short, I guess, is Anarchist Orange. It's like a pineapple citrus orange flavor, and that's what I got in there. And real quick, we're not trying to shill or nothing, but I just want to let everyone know, because you guys all know I work at Local Vape, work for Anarchist, blah, blah, blah. The products are available at ejuicedb.com. You can order it retail to your door in most areas. So if you want to go back to online ordering there, and if you're a shop, if you already contact Local Vape, continue to contact Local Vape, but you can also get wholesale Anarchist, Vapor Treats, Atom Bomb, all the malicious manufacturing products at Vape Ranger, and that's for wholesale. But anyways, that's my quick shill for a second.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Not speaking as a representative of anyone, but Adam's not here, so I can't ask him.
Yeah.
But Local Vape were the official distributor of Breestones in the U.S.
Correct.
Are they still, and can you get those there?
You cannot get hardware from Local Vape, unfortunately, right now. And certain right now, for the most part, I will say this: if you want anything, it's got to be international at this current moment in venture. There's something in the works, and I will let Adam speak to this because like it's his thing, you know what I mean? But like there's something that's going to happen with Breezetones, and like they will be back in the circulation in the United States soon, I believe. But I don't want to speak for Adam and stuff like this. But from my current knowledge, I believe I can't give anyone a time frame, but they're going to come back soon. So.
Okay, because I'm getting a lot of questions, a lot of comments about where and when, how. I've only got one set left, and I don't want to use them. I'll cry if I end up using them.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's like.
Well, they'll last you for 6 months.
I haven't answered yet. I've just been waiting to find out.
Yeah. So, like, I won't speak more for that on the Adam thing, but it's kind of hard right now because a lot of places are going to have to figure out freight forwarding from, here it goes. Here's some vape talk for you guys, What's going on is when you get products internationally, usually you can get them freight forwarded, which means that they come on a big truck or they come through a company that usually works with companies like FedEx and stuff like that, but they have their own planes or they have their own licensing and do all this stuff, right? So it's not impossible to get stuff from other countries. It's just very hard right now to find individual companies that are willing to do it. And then beyond that, you've got to worry about getting that product from port to where you're at. So say Chris Vandal's vape shop, if I had one, was in Las Vegas or Henderson, Nevada, right? I would have to find a way to find a transporter to get that product from that country to here, and then from there to me without going through the regular avenues of USPS, FedEx, and DHL, which have all put in some kind of implementation of a ban of some sort or some tax. So it's really hard right now to get foreign products and stuff like this. I will say this though, as just a heat of advice from me and what I've seen. You see that international companies like these Chinese companies and stuff like this are still saying that they're still selling products straight to your door and stuff like that. You're taking a gamble on that. I just want to warn you now. You're taking a gamble when you order these hardware products because they are starting to crack down on scanning packages and x-raying packages and vape products. and you may not be able to get it. So I'm not telling you to stop buying stuff. I'm not telling you that your package won't make it, but they're starting to pay a lot more attention to it. And I guarantee you that, like, you reach out to this company, you paid, like, 50, $60 for this mod plus another 20 in shipping for. If it's lost in transit, it's probably going to fall back on you to just take up the loss. So that's just my little bit of advocacy corner for the retail side of it, is to be careful, because you might not get what you're getting and you might not get your money back.
I got to tell you, I got a package this morning, and this was shipped from Australia to Australia, so no worries there. None of the U.S. issues, none of the overseas COVID, post-COVID problems, whatever. And yet, once I looked at the box, I was so surprised that it actually got to me, because it's got a little declaration. It was road freight, and a little declaration on the bottom with contents. And the person, very smart person who works in this industry, knows what they're doing, but they wrote undisclosed liquid. Undisclosed liquid on the box. And there are 4 bottles of e-liquid in there. I was just like,
yeah, that's the worst thing to describe it as.
Undisclosed liquid. Like,
that's the most suspicious thing.
There's no laws against shipping 0 milligram e-liquid in Australia. There's no vape laws about anything like that.
That's what we have to send out there.
So they could have just said e-liquid, no problem. But undisclosed liquid, I'm like, it wasn't opened. This is what amazed me. Not only that it got here, but if I was anywhere, I got to check this out. I don't know what it is. What is it? Bottles of piss?
Yeah.
I mean, is it bull sperm? What the hell is in there? I want to find out. I could not, like sorting packages, I could not let that one pass without checking it. So. Yeah.
In the chat, we do have a couple things I want to point out. Mowgli Vape says Fireball Cotton is MIA, shipped May 20th. Never left China. Never waited this long for a FT order at $23. Yeah, man, like that's, if it gets hit at customs, like that's happened in outgoing orders. It's happening on incoming orders.
Yeah.
Big Rick says, question: can us in Australia still buy anything from the U.S. as in products and all? You would if. The thing is, some companies are still shipping stuff, but like I said, that risk is on you to know if it's going to get to you. The problem is, you're going to have if you buy like a vape juice, like a nicotine filled juice from the U.S., I'm not a lawyer. I'm not my expertise is more in bird law. That's a joke if you get it. More or less, I don't have the technical knowledge or the extravagant knowledge of like what every customs agent's going to do. But they are cracking down hard on the stuff coming into your country, Australia, if you're in Australia. And the thing is, like, yes, there are companies that are still shipping wherever they want in the world and doing stuff like that. That's the risk you're going to have to take, is that if you're going to get
even with hardware, I mean, once it's left the U.S., coming directly to Australia, you should be okay. Some issues with UPS and DHL and all that, we're still not sure where they lie with these things. But within the U.S., getting out of the country from the retailer or the manufacturer out of the country, there's some massive hurdles, especially when you're talking about business to consumer.
Yeah.
Mentioned there, business to business. Yeah, there are, because they take different paths.
Yeah.
And you're talking about large containers, etc. Even if it's not a huge, like if it's just a small box, it'll go to a shipper that will then fill it with all these other companies' stuff, and it will take a month or so to fill up and then go on a ship. So that's a whole different pathway. That's possible. But for business to consumer from the U.S. to any country in the world, not just Australia, it's got to get from its origin point
to the port
outside of the country.
Yeah. And
that's the hardest part on the consumer level. I would recommend, Big Rick, if there's things in the States that you really, really want, you just can't live without them. They've got to have that new shiny mech mod from Purge. Find the retailer that has the closest relationship with them in Australia and get them to order it for you. And even if you can, like there are some people like, you guys, the guys, Geelong are great. If you can do a one-off, like if you can promise them you'll buy it, they might be able to throw it in with the rest of their order. Or they might just go, okay, well, that seems to be interest here. Let's bring in 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But that would be the best way to go about it. It's going to take longer. You're not going to be that guy on Instagram holding, number 1. you're going to be 6 months late, but it will get to you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get to you, then it's you haven't paid. It has failed between the business and the consumer or the
The
distributor,
business and the
manufacturer,
business,
whatever.
and there's better
They have
avenues. Yeah.
Yeah, they have insurance to cover that.
Yeah. And Steve's
Whereas if
absolutely
you-
right. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say, if you buy something and it's shipped and it disappears, like Mowgli and his $23 cotton, try getting that money back. That's not always a fun process. That can take years. They literally make it as hard as possible to the point where they hope that eventually you'll give up.
Yeah.
So
In the chat, Mystic said like he could still order wire, but that's because it has multiple purposes. Yeah, things like that have like a duality kind of thing, where like it could be used for anything. Like it's like cotton companies, they should keep shipping in the United States if like because you can use it for anything. Just change the branding to multi-purpose cotton, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
With Big Rick said the reason why he asked is because he's still waiting for, I believe he said, a button, probably for one of his mechs. I think that's what he said.
Yeah.
Parts like that, you should be fine. So the thing is like stuff like that, like you can't tell from like Adam what the hell it is, right? Like you don't know what it is because like when I do giveaways from here, when we used to do the vape giveaways when it was a lot easier to ship vape stuff, I would go into FedEx on my own sometimes to ship stuff when I wasn't currently at work. And so I would go in, and they still wanted you to clarify what was on there. And if it was vape stuff, you would still get a big runaround. So when I was giving away like 2 mods and stuff like that, I would always ship those on my own. I had like a FedEx, and I would tell people it's a flashlight kit. The average person doesn't know what the hell that is. And if you find someone that vapes at that store that's shipping it that knows what it is, I guarantee you they're not going to hold you back. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, brother, keep fighting the fight or whatever. You know what I mean? And, like, keep going. So
Big Rick, if it's a Keen product that you want, that's Times Vape, and their manufacturing and everything is in China. So maybe redirect your hunt to find somewhere there that's not going to have that sort of
and that would be a lot closer to you, too.
interference. Yeah.
So,
And surprisingly enough, China to Australia, I mean, despite, Fast Tech, they have a reputation for slow shipping, and it has infected the sort of vapors consciousness. It's just like, oh, buy from China, it takes forever. It takes forever. May as well buy from the States. It's not true. It all depends on the company and their shipping.
Yeah.
A lot of these companies will do exactly like I said with shipping containers, that kind of concept. They'll wait. They take the cheapest way possible. But if you're willing to pay a little bit more, like a proper shipping fee, or you choose the right company, sometimes shipping from China can be like really fast. I've had companies that I've talked to, like, oh, we want you to review this before the 7th. So it's like, well, it's the 28th now, and it turns up on the 3rd. I'm like, that's actually pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Coming from Shenzhen, so it does happen.
Some,
and they didn't pay extra. It just came by DHL or whatever.
Depending on like what you're getting and stuff like that, because Steve's right. Because like so there's a Shein app. If you guys haven't seen it, it's basically the Wish for clothes. It's all China stuff. And I ordered some T-shirts for work. Like this is a work T-shirt. It's one of those breathable ones. It got here in fucking 6 days. Like so sometimes you get fast stuff. Sometimes you don't. It just depends on like if they have a big order going out, they'll probably ship it right then. A lot of times you gotta wait. Neil Pitts in the chat though said that it took him a few weeks to get his, and it finally came through. So hopefully it works out for you, Mowgli.
A lot of it depends. I mean, there's multiple steps in that process. I mean, Mystic Oils, Slow Tech, who are the best example of all the wrong steps. I mean, you have an option when you buy from them to pay more. There's multiple, and it's very confusing the way they've got it laid out. It's pretty much if you pay the most, you'll get the best. But if you pay the cheap one, I have a feeling that it goes at the bottom of the list, and they pack it up within a week or 12, and then they throw it into a room where it sits there, waiting for the room to get full, where they will take it to the docks and get pushed into a container, which is half full. So we have to wait for another room full, and then eventually it will go on a ship that goes to 12 different countries before it gets to yours. That to me seems to be the slow tech way. It's the worst possible decision for your benefit along the way. Whereas there are companies that literally not just vape. There's a electronics company ordered from recently, a couple of times, different orders, and they are really good. As in, doesn't matter what time of day, doesn't matter if it's the weekend, your shipping label, the packaging is done. You know that it's sitting there on the dock within an hour.
Yeah.
My wife ordered some speaker stands for her desk. She does audio stuff, and she changed her layout. She had a triple monitor, and the speakers were now behind, and so she couldn't hear properly. She wanted to raise them up and angle them properly. She got some really nice speaker stands, and she ordered them on a Saturday, and they turned up on Monday morning from the other side of the country. I was like,
yeah,
fuck, that is fast. That is insanely fast.
That's some Amazon Prime shit right there.
Yeah, there are companies that do good things like that.
And another reason why, like, well, of course, in the States you're a lot closer. The reason why it seems like you get your stuff way faster in the States too is because you do. Because when you order from a vape shop, there's maybe like, what, 30, 40 orders that day, if that, or whatever, and they package it right there and then ship it out. And Steve's absolutely right. With these big companies, they ship in bulk, which means they wait to fulfill a full-size order, especially with vape gear. I'm assuming because it's going to be a lot cheaper to send 500 at once instead of one at a time 500 times. You know what I mean? And so that's a lot of the reason why you wait for this stuff. But keep your faith out there. You never know. You might get, like, the package eventually. Just it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Neil Pitts right there says when he buys mods from Fast Tech, he pays for the higher shipping. Takes about 18 days from China. I don't know, Neil, where you are, but 18 days is a fairly decent shipping time.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, it could be better, it could be worse, but 18 days is not that bad.
Especially international.
But you pay for that service, and they know that they've got that there. It's like, the orders get split. It's like priority service, and we'll get to it when we do.
Yeah. So it's definitely, if it's a couple extra bucks, toss it down. You get your product faster. Makes it a little bit easier.
It's warming up here. I can take this off now. It's better. Itchy.
Oh man! All right, so we've been going for what, about 30 minutes now.
We go.
What are you thinking about? Anything new coming out that you're interested in checking out? I know you got some new review stuff that you can't talk about, but anything fancying your tickle right now? Tickling your fancy?
Yeah, actually, I got a new. Lost Vape are a great company, but they're one of those companies that they'll send you a message saying, "Would you like to review this?" You say yes, and then you don't hear anything from them until it gets here. So, and then you never, and they're good about the other part, which is they don't follow up. They just go like, "Do you want to review it?" And they send it to you. And the next thing, "Do you want to review it?" And they send it to you. They don't come back and say, "Oh, we saw your review and we don't like this." They don't do any of that stuff. I like that. But point being is I did get that contact. What's it called? The scrotum? Yeah, the new scrotum mod. No, it's a scutum or something like that. Every time I look at it, it looks like
Is
scrotum.
it an electric scooter vape?
There you go. No, that's marketing towards kids there. Can't do that. It's okay, so it is not the first, but it's one of the first mainstream DNA 100 boards mods. It's a single battery, and it seems to be taking a leaf from the Aegis in terms of waterproof, drop-proof, dust-proof, all that sort of stuff. So, but to Lost Vape quality. So I'm quite excited to give that one a try.
Nice. A rugged vape.
Rugged, durable sort of thing. The new mod from Hell Vape is coming, and it is a solid piece of billet aluminum, all CNC.
Oh, nice.
I'm really looking forward to the feeling and touching and getting my hands on that.
Wait, it's a dual battery, or is that like a mech?
Dual battery.
And it's all solid state? Solid aluminum?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, you got the chips and all that stuff, but the body itself, one piece CNC. Really looking forward to that. What else is coming? Not a heck of a lot. It's kind of a slow period. I've got pods galore. I get offers. I could probably do 6 reviews a week if I was willing to do pre-filled disposable pods. I have so many requests. And once you start doing that, you get more notice. And then everyone else would. And it's like, am I really going to do that many reviews of pretty much the same device, just rebadged?
It would just be a taste testing at that point.
And like I said, 90% of them come from the same factory. It's the same mod. It's the same juice. It's the same everything. It's just there are 5 different companies rebranding their name on the side and then shipping it. It's like I'm not going to touch those. Um,
Yeah.
there was a point where my rule was, because I was young in the game, um, I'll review anything. Yeah, sure, send it to me. Whatever comes, whatever, anything vape related, I will review it. No problem. I have started to be a little bit more picky with some stuff. Is just shit.
Yeah.
I got one. It was nicotine. It was a
Don't tell me it was a
heat.
synthetic Nick.
It might have been synthetic Nick. I'm not sure where the Nick was sourced. It was a heat not burn
Yeah.
nicotine infused tea. And as much as I was really curious to get my hands on it, I was like, if I agree, I have to actually do the review.
Yeah.
If I do the review, it's probably going to be, my God, this is horrible. How about I just don't? How about I just don't?
I just can't imagine, like, well, because like nicotine, you're not supposed to ingest it in your like digestive system. Like, you're not supposed to do that. And then I can only imagine, like, because everything's like Delta 8 infused now, or CBD infused and stuff like that. But that's different. You can metabolize that. But nicotine infused tea, like that, just it sounds like a stomach.
Well, no. Remember, nicotine infused tea, heat not burn. You're not eating it or drinking it. You're.
Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Well, I guess the word would be smoking. It's not vaping.
Yeah, inhaling it.
You're inhaling it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
So it's like a vitamin B12 pin or something then, or like that.
Yeah. That basic kind of idea. There's a lot of that stuff going on out there.
I'm not a big fan of like the pods and all that stuff, and I'm not trying to talk crap about anyone that does it, because like there's people out there that do it pretty good or whatever, but I just can't see Steve Legion going to the this is gonna sound a bit negative, but whatever, the route of average looking girl, send me your pods. Send me your pods.
There is a YouTuber who is very well known, very famous amongst our scene, female, whose content went from mods, starter kits, sub-ohm tanks, to mostly pods, to a fuck ton of pods, to not many pods, to I'm making mashed potatoes today. Watch me make mashed potatoes in the oven. And I bought a new wig, and I just watched that. I was like, at a certain point, your credibility just, not because you're reviewing other vape stuff, it's because the bottom fell out of your market and you quickly grabbed onto something else. It was just, and I felt bad because I was very judgmental, and I'm sounding judgmental now.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I kind of liked her channel.
Yeah. Well, you're just disappointed in the path it goes, and like, people have been, like, there's a couple people in the chat, I think, that have been here since day one. We started out just Amigos Monday, right? And eventually it devolved into, like, me, the Friday Fallout as well, and stuff like that. But the thing is like, when you're a single person personality, this is my opinion, of course, I think that you should differentiate, like, what you're providing content-wise between different avenues. I don't think that if, like, I get it. You had all the followers on your vape channel or whatever. You had the followers on, like, your vape content. Shoving mashed potatoes down their throat is gonna leave a bad taste in your mouth, no pun intended, but you know what I mean? It just, I think that, like, cool, it's to do that, but when you create one thing and you have this whole like world set up of, like, you doing vaping, and then you try to move on to like influencer content, you know what I mean? It leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and it's going to create a negative ripple effect between the fans and the new people,
I'm of multiple conflicting minds of this. I mean, people grow and evolve. It's kind of like, you don't expect Metallica to make the same album now that they did when they first started. They've learned more. They've become different musicians. I'm not even going to say better. They're tired of some things, and they've embraced new things. They'll evolve. Bands do that. And the same with content providers. I mean, a filmmaker's not going to make the same film over and over, and reviewers tend to, despite the differences, we tend to repeat a lot of the same thing. But
But that's different. You're a filmmaker. You're not a vape filmmaker. You know what I mean? Like, you've already pigeonholed yourself. I get it. They're like, no, I'm all about, like, expressing yourself and breaking boundaries and going out and finding stuff that makes you happy. But make a second channel. You know what I mean? Or make a different thing.
It could be hard though. Like, I can understand. Like, if if you've been working for 3-4 years and you've built up your channel and you've got your following, going from that to your other channel. I have another channel I started. I am in the middle of a 3-part series. Part 2 has been waiting for 7 months now because I didn't lose interest. I just lost impetus because I have a good channel and I have I have 6 followers there. Ooh, 6 subs versus 40,000. Where should I put my attention?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
But I think that's where, like, in the long run, that secondary channel, it's going to be something that not necessarily eats away at you, but it's going to be something that you want to focus more on. And then you're going to see the difference between how you create the vape stuff and that. And it's going to create the second world for you. And then it's going to ignite your interest. And eventually it may flip the other way. You know what I mean? That one becomes more popular.
See, I think it all depends on how you do it and what you do. Here's 2 great examples. Wendy vapes. She had a vape channel. She lost her vape channel. She started a secondary channel to replace it and started building that up. And she got her channel back. And I recently realized, because I found out that I was subscribed to both of them, that she had transitioned her secondary channel to makeup reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine, because I think the people that go for vape content don't want to have their feed filled with makeup stuff. That may not be what they're interested in. And if they are, they can follow both channels. There's a differentiation. There are 2 different markets and there are 2 different spheres. And that's kind of what you're saying. I agree with that. That's fine. And my apologies, Wendy, but I unsubbed for your makeup channel because clearly I don't need the makeup. I'm pretty as I am. And I don't really need to see that stuff in my feed. I'm not offended by it. It's just not for me. Don't want to watch it. But I'm still subbed to her vape channel because that's of interest. And I think that's the thing. There used to be a rule on the radio that certain songs are too dissimilar. They're too groundbreaking. You cannot play them on mainstream radio because they will cause a certain percentage to turn off, go to a different station, and when people go to a different station, they don't come back. So I can get that whole mentality. That works just fine. However, there are other people who it's more about them. And so there are people that started off as guitarists playing on the channel, and they built up their following and they're known for their guitaring, and they bought a synth and now they're mastering the synth, some guitar videos, and 6 years later they're sitting there with like racks of gear and the guitars are getting dusty and they've changed path.
But that's an evolution, you know what I mean? Like that's like I understand that. But like I'm not trying to argue with you about it. Yeah. I don't see the connection between vape and mashed potatoes unless you got a gravy flavored juice.
Fair enough.
I don't know. I'm just too particular about it. But that's why, like, when we started this channel, we made sure it was Amigos and Co. The Amigos was from, like, the Breeze Tones and the Vape Malone channel, 3 Amigos show. And then in the Co was basically me, because I was like, I'm going to maybe do some weird shit on the side of the channel. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Is like, I don't know. I think that, it's like, with the content-wise thing, when you go into it, you're dedicating yourself to one thing. And like you said, like, because I am no stranger to it, I will unfollow the fuck out of something I just don't want to see. Like, I have no hard feelings for it. Like, I've unfollowed people that we've had on this show. People that I'm pretty cool with, because I don't want to see, like, whatever you're posting. I just don't like it. But that's a thing, and like you said, it's absolutely right. It creates such a contrast between the original people that like this kind of stuff and then the new groundbreaking stuff that comes in between. You're absolutely right, and I think that you should do the same thing with your content. You should do it that way. Not that you should hold it back from anyone like the radio would, like, an amazing song or something that may change the world. But I think you should differentiate between the two, because if not, you're going to at least make the OG hardcore fans mad, and then the new people that come in may not like what you did before on that stuff, and then they're going to judge you for it, and then you're trying to provide something completely different.
Yeah, like I said, I the only thing is I can understand how hard it is when you've already built up a platform and looking at that platform going, okay, I got this many people, they are interested in vape, and making that conscious decision